Hello to everyone in the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Cathedral community and all of our friends. This is Father Jonathan. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to continue our meditation on the Psalms of liturgical worship with a reflection on Psalm 129, which we've been discussing in the past few episodes. Moving on, we'll go right into the next verse, verse 3, which reads, "If thou shouldest mark iniquities, O Lord, who can stand? For with thee there is forgiveness." The reality is we fall short. The reality is we sin. We don't live our lives as we ought to all the time. It's part of being human, of course. We are fallen beings. And we strive, of course, to live authentically, live with intentionality, live faithfully to God's commandments. But we do fall short. And this one verse reminds us that God's here for us in the midst of this. And it's not something we earn or deserve, because the psalm does read, "If you should mark iniquities, O Lord, who shall stand?" Who can stand if God actually takes into account our sins? We have no legs to stand on, is what it's saying, because of our sin. But with the Lord, there is forgiveness. And this is a really significant reminder for us. It's a reminder that we are not alone. Now, we'll talk about that in the next meditation, but I really wanted to emphasize this conversation about marking our iniquities, understanding that our iniquities are something that would prevent us from standing in God's presence if we don't address them. And there's a beautiful passage here that I'd like to read from St. John Chrysostom that helps give shape to the conversation that we're having. He writes, "Your fellow servant has perhaps treated you with contempt? Yes, and you have treated God with contempt oftentimes. And what comparison is there between a fellow servant and the Lord? As the former, when he was perchance injured in some way, he insulted you, and you were aspirated. But you insult the Lord when you are neither treated with injustice nor ill will by him, but you receive blessing from him day by day. Consider then, if God chose to search out rigorously what is done against him, we would not live a single day. For the prophet said, 'If thou shouldest mark iniquities, O Lord, who shall stand?' And to pass by all those other things, of which the conscience of every sinner is aware, and of which he has no human witness, but only that of God, were we to be called to account for those which are open and admitted, what allowance could we expect for such things? What if he were to scrutinize our listlessness and negligence in our prayers? And how, while standing before God and supplicating him, we do not exhibit even so much fear and reverence for him as servants do towards their masters, as soldiers do towards their officers, as friends do towards friends. When you discourse with a friend, you give heed to what you are doing, but when waiting on God on account of your sin and asking pardon for so many offenses and thinking that you obtain forgiveness, you are often listless. And while your knees are on the ground, you let your mind wander everywhere in the market or in the house, babbling the while with your mouth vainly and to no purpose. And this we experience not once or twice, but frequently. Should God then choose to scrutinize just this alone, do you think that we could obtain pardon or be able to find excuse? Truly, I think not." So, although we recognize that God in these words of Saint John Chrysostom, that God is merciful, although we understand that God will hear us. We also are implored by St. John in this passage, in this beautiful meditation, which includes our psalm verse, that we can't just go on the way that we are. We must, with intentionality, with sincere intentionality, practice our life of faith, practice authentically prayer even. This is just prayer, falling short in prayer. How often do we fall short in other things? And so we start where we can. And these psalms are beautiful ways to start if we start praying the psalms, but praying them with intentionality. When we are distracted, returning to ourselves and saying the psalm yet again. If our minds wander, return to God and continue prayer. In this way, we can begin to address a deeper concern, sins that pull us further away from God, and live authentically ourselves in this process of correction. It's a sobering thing, it's a challenge, but with God, all things are possible. Keep that in mind as we depart for today. God bless you. We're here for you. We love you dearly. Don't hesitate to reach out. Call us, email us, leave us a note in the comments section. Leave us a message on social media. If you'd like to support this ministry, do so first and foremost by liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on social media, on Instagram and on Facebook. If you'd like to support this ministry financially, there will be a link below. Again, God bless you. We're here for you. We love you dearly. Have a beautiful rest of your day.